Positive vibes from me to you, coming to you yet again with another opportunity for you to do your work. I'm Latoya, and I am here on a wellness journey that many of us need to take. If you have not started already, then you most definitely need to get started because let's be real. The only person keeping you from greatness is you. So if your ultimate goal is for you to be your absolute best self, then imagine the things that you've lived through and how they may be a hurdle to your greatness. And wouldn't you want to remove that? Well, that's what this channel is all about. So lately I've been talking about what the Kentucky Education Summit has been about, what's happening inside of our schools as far as mental health is concerned. And I've been sharing some data from the youth risk survey in relations to the behaviors of our youth and what it says in relations to how they're thinking and how they're feeling. And today I wanted to share something with you all in relations to that. When we talk about communication, we need to have the same messaging. My question to you is, what is the message being sent from your family to others, from your community to others? And then how is that impacting our quality of life in this world? So let's open up with a quick moment to be able to get right in to our session and be our absolute best self. So if you're first joining me, welcome. If you've been with me before, you know that we try to have those beatitudes of personal wellness: be present, be positive, be committed, be aware, because at the end of the day, this is your journey and no one has a right to judge you for how you show up for you as you unpack your bags, reach into your toy box, fix what has been broken, heal what is hurting, and bless what has been destroyed in so many different ways. You all, I fervently believe childhood trauma is adult drama. So let's get right to it. Peace and love on your journey to greatness. We give thanks for another opportunity to be our best self. May each session serve as a guide as we embrace our truth to discover hidden treasures. I am worthy of all the good that life has to offer me, so I must sow the best me daily to reap the good harvest in life. In this moment, I seek the light and invite God into this space to build what has been broken and heal what is hurting. May I be guided by He who created me in order to empower His people through their process. Minimize me as I maximize you so they may see their message without my mess. Strengthen our commitment to self-care that it lasts an eternity, building us up rather than tearing us down. We are fit to fight the good fight for our families, so keep us lifted as we reach into our toy box and find the broken toys from past pain and trauma to repair and heal the bonds that have been broken times before. We know that this work takes time, so give us patience. The work is uncomfortable, it's unfamiliar, and it can be draining, but we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. This work is hard, it is heavy, and give us space and grace to love and be loved through our process. Strengthen us as we take this journey that we may endure for everlasting peace and prosperity. Ashe. You all, if you don't ever start your day with just a moment to just open up and be thankful for life, then I need you to start your day with a moment to be thankful for life. Someone did not wake up today. Someone just buried a family member. Somebody is grieving right now, and I need us to be on the same page in relations to how that changes people. A person doesn't just die. Their family then begins a death within themselves. Normalcy becomes unfamiliar. Things that they're accustomed to, things that are familiar, things that were the best experiences ever can forever be changed with a death. And sometimes we don't think about it from that aspect. So why am I talking mental health and death? Because we have the holiday coming around where many people give thanks. Many people are coming around a table with family and friends and celebrating in their own special way, but someone's not going to be there. How do I know this? Because I experienced it for myself. I'm not asking you to do anything that I haven't done or I am not doing on my journey. But what I'm asking of you is to give people grace and space as they live just a little different. Rather than judge them, embrace them. rather than ridicule them and push them aside. Let them know that they are loved and they are cared for. It could be a text message. It could be a phone call. It could be early in the morning or late at night. But just to know that you're still thought of, believe it or not, sometimes isn't a reality when you're grieving. Sometimes you believe that once you've lost somebody, you literally are lost to everybody. And maybe that was just my experience. Maybe that was just my little time in my darkness. But one of the reasons I'm committed to mental health is because it changed me. My sister was killed in a hit and run. Didn't realize how much of an impact it would have had on my life, my health, my decision making, my choices, my job, my passion, everything about me started to change over time. Other people noticed it before I did. And here I was internalizing, and here I was going inside of a dark hole when I really needed to come out. And I still needed to share and embrace those who were still alive and celebrate with others. So the reason I talk about mental health the way that I do is because right now there's this big boom about physical wellness. Look strong, be strong, but where is your mind? Because if your mind isn't strong, the body is only going to be as strong as the mind that it's with. And if the body builds up and the mind does not, at some point the mind can break down the body. So understand that there's a connection between the two. You a babe. There is a brain and body connection. And if you're not thinking about how those things come together, then you're going to be making some mistakes. And rather than live as the king and queen you were destined to be, you may start doing things that's among peasantry. For the crown is perfect and we are not. And as we have this human experience, we need to start embracing one another, surrounded around what it is we can do to help ourselves, our youth, our community, so we can thrive. So you all, as always, I'm sharing with you about the Kentucky's vision for the future, because maybe you know about this stuff and maybe you don't. But I want to really quickly share a few of these bulleted points with you, and I want you to really think about how much of this has been true or is true, and what role you could possibly play in relations to helping it to be a future for all of us. Because one of the things we have to do better about is communicating within our school walls. We can't do it without you. Teachers cannot do it without you. Administrators cannot do it without you. Your scholar, our scholar, because I have kids in the school system too, cannot do it without us. So one of the things I'm going to share with you is the vision for the future in relations to Kentucky. This is very recent, a couple weeks ago it was shared. And then I want to share what the responsibilities of our families, responsibilities of the school, and responsibilities of the students should be, so that we can be able to envision a safer, smarter, and healthier future for all. We'll be right back.
This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.
What's up, y'all? It's Alexa Morgan with Lex Rated Podcast on the Plug Network, online bi-weekly on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Stay plugged in.
Want your brand or business featured on the Plug? Advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. Again, advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. We got the eyes that are looking for you.
Are you a poet for the people? Illuminating the emotions of those who know what suffering from an unjust system feels like. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity to hold a crowd by the ears, so for us to take on that role with our God-given craft, it's only right. Are you a poet for the people? A destiny meant not for the weak. We too have suffered trials and tribulations, experienced in rebuilding what was once torn down with the words that we speak.
Changing Image Barbershop is your best choice for your family haircuts. Just off of Hikes Lane in the Bardstown Square Shopping Center. Changing Image Barbershop has lots of parking and plenty of seats inside with a great family environment where every customer is treated professionally and like family. They specialize in the newest styles and cuts. Changing Image is the best barbershop in the Ville. They now have a braider and over 15 barbers available to you. Call them at 502-907-0010 or visit them at 2251 Hikes Lane in the Bardstown Square Shopping Center.
And we are back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Latoya, and I'm here. I am your personal wellness plug, helping you to stay in tune with who you are and growing into who you were meant to be. So one of the things that we are discussing is the Kentucky Education Summit, and one of the things they shared was their vision for Kentucky. Before the break, I said I want you to really start to reflect on where do you see yourself in these words? How do you envision yourself living out these words? Because our school systems need us. If ever there was a time for the public to provide love within schools, it would be now. Public schools. I really hope we got that analogy. Public plus school. All right, it's not private. It's not something that's off to the wayside and let someone else do the work. This is we come together and we ensure the safety for all. And we have to start having these quality conversations because we do have influence and we need to start using it for the greater good of those who are inside of the buildings. Like, oh, I don't know, our children. I just wonder. All right, so Kentuckians will feel a greater sense of common purpose, satisfaction, and appreciation for their hard work in providing quality educational experiences. Now, again, this is the vision for Kentucky. Schools will be places for people to learn together, gather, and celebrate through a network of trusting relationships to support student success. Schools and districts will build trusting partnerships across communities to foster authentic collaboration to best serve our students. Again, think about how are you collaborating with the schools? How are we building that bridge of trust? Inequities will be addressed directly, and all members of the community will be involved in overcoming barriers and challenges. How are all of us involved in this? Okay, how were you brought to the table? How were you made aware about a summit that was in your own backyard? Just asking questions. Schools will be centers of curiosity, motivation, and engagement and provide an open and welcoming environment. I wonder what that looks like right now. And considering that this is a vision for a future, I can't wait to hear what they have to say about building that bridge to what they just mentioned. Schools will be accountable for student success in a manner that inspires. Real conversations will take place where everyone is empowered to share good ideas that lead to improvements for all students, especially around innovation and collaboration. The Kentucky Education Summit, I believe, was a start for that. Hopefully we can continue that. Schools will create pathways for students to have individual achievement and collective prosperity for their broader communities. For their broader communities. Assessments will focus on improving outcomes that matter to students and their future. So at the summit, one of the things I really liked was the idea of a certification of mastery rather than a diploma. So here it is, you got this diploma, but upon graduation, a certificate of mastery. I've mastered cooking, I've mastered finances, I've mastered learning how to this, and this to become a productive citizen. To me, I feel like that's the direction we need to head in because there's a lot of kids who are really lost upon leaving high school. And if we're leaving it to families to give that to them, then we're failing them within the walls with all of that time that we have with our youth. And then lastly, the education community will have a culture that doesn't shy away from addressing tough issues and seeks collaborative ways to solve them. And as an insider looking out, I can say that the conversations have began. It's unfortunate that it took this long to begin these conversations, but I promise you there are people on the inside who definitely wants the outcome to be exactly what has just been read to you. This isn't just in our city, but this is across the state of Kentucky. But let's start looking at what role we play. What role do you play as a parent? What role do you play as a teacher? What role do you play as a student? Because I don't know which role group you belong to. Maybe you belong to one. two, or maybe all three. I don't know. But the biggest thing is what responsibility do you have in moving us forward when you talk about doing your work? Because if you're showing up each and every day as your best self, then we're definitely going to get the best outcome for everybody. But if you're showing up and you're dealing with things and you're bringing it into our schools, now there's a problem. So when we talk about having that opportunity to be your best self, I can't help but think about how are we communicating the importance of our educational system. And one thing that keeps coming to me are these TikTok challenges where kids are too excited. 8-year-olds, 5-year-olds, too excited to do this, but not this, but not this, but not this. The things that are going to help them to be their best self is not of great importance, but making sure that I can definitely get those TikTok challenges in and you follow me, that's important. What are we actually communicating? Education matters or superficial likes matter? I don't know. Maybe they're real, maybe it's not. But I really want us to start thinking about how that's playing a role inside of the school system. So let me give you an example. One of the things that, two of the things that are out there, hopefully will die soon and very soon, is the Do It for the Lick challenge during COVID, where kids are basically stealing from school. So we've created a culture of stealing. Wow. And let's see who can do it the best. Wow. We're promoting stealing and who can do it the best. And then there is the slap challenge, slap the teacher challenge. Let me make sure I add that word in, the slap the teacher challenge. So when you think about education, Kentucky being the state where education pays, the state where you can literally go to college off of your high school grades, and all you need to do is a good job, and you can get money to go to college. I know that for a fact because I did it. I mean, every year I showed up in college, I got money from my high school performance. So when we talk about education and the role that we should be playing in it as parents, how much time does your youth get to have on their iPad, on their phone? How much stimulation are they getting from social media and the things that they watch and they hear? Is there a filter on their lives that you're having these quality conversations? You can watch it, but don't be a part of it. It's one thing when you see it, and it's another thing when you participate in it. Because again, kings and queens make calculated moves that add up. And it doesn't make sense to me that you want to be a part of something that teaches you and gets excited about stealing or a culture to start fights. Because if you go off and you smack somebody, heaven forbid you smack the wrong person on the wrong day, then an altercation can occur. Then we're quick to cry victim when it comes to a teacher putting hands on a kid, but you're not saying much when that kid feels it perfectly okay to do the exact same thing to an adult. We're teaching children to be disrespectful and we're smiling about it. We're laughing about it. So my question is, if it were your profession and if it were your job, would you be okay with these challenges continuing on? And if the answer is no, then my question then becomes, are you having these kind of quality conversations at home to let your child know it's one thing to watch and it's another thing to participate? It's one thing to see it and it's another thing to be it. We have to set the standard because again, the crown is perfect. It's we who are imperfect. And if you're not dealing with your own personal baggage, how can you expect your child, your children, and those around you to be better? So when we come back, I really want us to get grounded and centered because we're going to do a little something just a little different than our normal so that we can continue to be our absolute best self. I'll see you after the break.
This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.
What's up, y'all? It's Alexa Morgan with Lex Rated Podcast on the Plug Network online bi-weekly on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Stay plugged in.
Want your brand or business featured on the Plug? Advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. Again, advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. We got the eyes that are looking for you.
Are you a poet for the people? Illuminating the emotions of those who know what suffering from an unjust system feels like. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity to hold a crowd by the ears, so for us to take on that role with our God-given craft, it's only right. Are you a poet for the people? A destiny meant not for the weak. We too have suffered trials and tribulations, experienced in rebuilding what was once torn down with the words that we speak.
Changing Image Barbershop is your best choice for your family haircuts. Just off of Hikes Lane in the Bardstown Square Shopping Center. Changing Image Barbershop has lots of parking and plenty of seats inside with a great family environment where every customer is treated professionally and like family. They specialized in the newest styles and cuts. Changing Image is the best barbershop in the Ville. They now have a braider and over 15 barbers available to you. Call them at 502-907-0010 or visit them at 2251 Hikes Lane in the Bardstown Square Shopping Center.
And welcome back, you all, to another opportunity for you to do your work. One of the things I really wanted to share with you all is just making sure that we communicate our needs. What is it that we need within our public schools right now? What is it that our children need when it comes to their mental health? And what is it that our teachers need, our staff members need when it comes to their mental health? And how do we support the growth in that area, because it's definitely much needed. So I'm into the last segment of our time together, and I always want to provide you with an opportunity to be your best self. But I learned very quickly that some of my colleagues will use their attire as a reason to not get a good workout in. Even when you are at work, regardless of the clothing you wear, there are exercises you can do. Something as simple as this, you can get a really good workout in to be your absolute best self. So I wanted to share with you some of the things that I do, especially when I take a 20-minute lunch. Yes, all I get is 20 minutes. Yes, I feel some type of way when I hear you all get an hour or so of lunch and etc. But what I need to work on for myself is just being my absolute best self, and what that's going to look like for me while at work. So what I just sat on, I just put my YouTube, I put my video in, and it's going to play meditating music. And this is to clean out all the negative energy that's in and around me. So number one, you have to set your space. When you're at work or wherever you are, is there a space for you to go to so that you can be able to have this experience? So I'm playing it in my ear. You can put yours on. It can sound however you want it to. But then two, my scented oil. So tonight I'm doing eucalyptus, grapefruit, and some lavender. Definitely got to have my lavender because it's nighttime and it's time to chill. So this is something that I've picked up. It's a little pocket. I take it with me every road trip I go on. Yes, I have the sheet that allows me to know exactly how many of each to put in, how many drops. I have things that I put in for the morning. And then I have a scent that I do or an aroma that I do at nighttime. So depending on what my need is, there's like this little list of things that I can do. So you set the mood with the music, you set the mood with your scent, and all I do is I allow this to be around me and I spray it, or I allow it to come out and it diffuses on its own. Breathe it in. I took my shoes off. Don't judge my socks. They're thick, they're warm, and they're comfy. But the biggest thing is to be grounded. I want my feet on the floor. If I were at home, I would take my socks completely off. There's been a time when I was actually at work and I really needed to be grounded. And I went outside, even though I'm allergic to grass, took off my shoes and I stood in the grass and I just grabbed that grass with my toes. So I do some toe exercises. Yes, right now you should be crunching those toes. Crunching those toes, feeling yourself reach your roots deep into the earth. So after a while, this will get cut off, but the scent should still be around you depending on what you use. So I like to have a rotating back. So again, I'm still crunching. And I like to focus on my least muscles involved. So a lot of times trainers get excited about those big muscles, those large muscle groups, because you get the biggest bang for your buck when you can transform those larger muscle groups. But sometimes those smaller muscle groups get neglected, like your fingers, your toes, your neck. So one of the things I like to do are exercises that allow me to think about consciously what I'm doing with that. So I don't know if you can see my feet as I roll outward. This is me. Now I'm used to rolling outward. You go to your ability, but I just take my foot and I go off to the side and I stretch it out. This is really good for people who stand on their feet all day long. If you're not doing foot exercises daily or every other day or weekly, stretching out those toes, stretching out those muscles, getting excited. Now let's do some calf raises. But if you're not doing those regularly and consistently, then you're missing out on the benefit of getting that blood flowing, helping your heart to pump the blood back up and back down so that you can get that rich oxygenated blood all through your body. So the same things that I do with my feet, guess what? I can do with my hands, okay? So if you work with your hands, you're a stylist, you're a writer, you're someone who types, you're always doing something with your hands. I'm just going from toe and then I'm rocking back to my heel, creating that balance. Squeeze that stomach muscle in because believe it or not, it's a workout. Whew. I don't know if it's because the studio is hot or this workout is hot, but I'm heating up. So again, stretching it out so then I can stand and I'm gonna prance. Now my prancer, I can do fast or I can do slow, but all I want to do is focus on stretching out through my toes. That's right, those calf muscles. So let me give it to you, my MEALS, as we continue on. So I'm gonna add my arms, especially for my shoulders. So I need you to move daily. Whatever it is you enjoy, you like, you put that routine into place and you make sure that you move that body. It can be a 5-minute increment, 10-minute, 20, 30 minutes, however you choose. Just make sure you get up and move every day. As we get older, our bodies need us to be more conscious of our movements. Then I need you to make sure that you eat clean. What does that look like for you? I don't know, but I know for me, when I eat clean, I definitely feel different. My energy is definitely different. But then also, my day is so much better, so much lighter than it ever has been when I eat foods that are very heavy and not so good for my body, right? I need you to accept feedback. You have people in your life right now, roll those wrists. You have people in your life right now who love you enough to go toe to toe with you about whatever it is you're dealing with. And they still stand next to you. They still embrace you. They still love you. They still talk to you. They still laugh with you. That's because they love you. People who are willing to speak to you about how you act and do things care about you. Those who sit silently as you goof up your life really don't. Then I need you to love yourself. This process is heavy and hard work, unfamiliar, uncomfortable, but I promise you that it will get better and sweeter and more comfortable as you embrace yourself. And then get yourself some soulful stimulation. One of the things I am enjoying right now is my Woman Evolve book. If you're not reading something to educate your mind, then you're losing your mind over time. So again, make sure you rack up on those meals. Enjoy yourself during this holiday season. Be empowered to live your best life. And I will see you again next time. Peace.
This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.
What's up, y'all? It's Alexa Morgan with Lex Rated Podcast on the Plug Network online bi-weekly on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Stay plugged in.
Want your brand or business featured on The Plug? Advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. Again, advertise with us at plugnetworkonline.com. We got the eyes that are looking for you.
Are you a poet for the people? Illuminating the emotions of those who know what suffering from an unjust system feels like. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity to hold a crowd by the ears, so for us to take on that role with our God-given craft, it's only right. Are you a poet for the people? A destiny meant not for the weak. We too have suffered trials and tribulations, experienced in rebuilding what was once torn down with the words that we speak.
Changing Image Barbershop is your best choice for your family haircuts. Just off of Hikes Lane in the Bardstown Square Shopping Center. Changing Image Barbershop has lots of parking and plenty of seats inside with a great family environment where every customer is treated professionally and like family. They specialized in the newest styles and cuts. Changing Image is the best barbershop in the Ville. They now have a braider and over 15 barbers available to you. Call them at 502-907-0010 or visit them at 2251 Hikes Lane in the Bardstown Square Shopping Center.